Flowers and Friendship, a Keepsake journal. This is a journal that I created recently. The idea is that it's a perfect gift to give to a very good friend. One friend might offer it to another friend who could use it for journaling, meditation, learning, note-taking, or however else she chooses. You can see on the front that the byline is celebrating friendships, flowers, and the beauty of slowing down, because I don't know if you live the same sort of life as I do, but it seems to go by very quickly. Today I'm going to write my friend's name on the dedication page, and you'll see that I'm using a 3.8mm parallel pen, the one with the green cap. I have simply drawn my baseline and my X height line. I'm writing with red ink because I thought that picked up the color of the flowers that are twirling around the F for friendship there in the upper left. I'm going to write in a blackletter style or fraktur style, just to contrast heavily with the italic letters that are used throughout this journal. The journal contains quotes that I've written in italic calligraphy, and there are watercolors that accompany the quotes. They're actually hand-drawn, hand-painted watercolors that I did on real watercolor paper with real brushes, and then I scanned them and worked them into the notebook. You'll also notice that I've given you the Amazon reference number at the bottom. And just to be clear, it is a 0 after the M, so it's M0D, not MOD. Now you'll also notice on the back of the page that I just wrote on, the ink bled through. Luckily, I had put a piece of scrap paper underneath so it didn't damage the following page, but I don't like the idea that the ink bled through, so I'm going to get another journal. And in this one, I'm going to use a Liquitex acrylic medium. It's a clear gesso. And this coat of gesso will, in a way, ink-proof the page where it's applied so that the ink doesn't bleed through to the other side. I'm going to apply the clear gesso with a sponge brush. These are one of the sponges that I use for scrapbooking, for burnishing the edges of my papers and things. So you'll see that I'm just pouring a little bit of the gesso out onto a paper plate, and I'm going to use the sponge brush to give a coat of gesso on the area where I'm actually going to write. And unfortunately, my camera is really out of range, so you'll just have to trust me when I tell you that I've applied horizontal strokes, and then I went back and did some vertical strokes as well, just to make sure that the area is well covered. Since it's very hot and very dry here today, it dried really very quickly. I barely waited half or 3/4 of an hour before I got the pen out again and wrote Agnès' name a second time. It's basically the same this time around. There might be a slight variation in the first capital A, but the rest of it is more or less the same. And this time, when I take the scrap sheet out and we have a look at the back side of the page that I wrote on, you can see that there is just a tiny bit of ink that bled through where I did the letter A. And in fact, that's simply because I wrote the A beyond the space where I had applied the gesso. So it's perfectly natural that it bled through there. And you'll see that the gesso was effective in keeping it from bleeding through at the rest, in the rest of the letters. So I have a feeling that this clear gesso is going to become an integral part of my day-to-day calligraphy practice when I'm writing in books like this. I'll put all the information of the product in the description for you. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe.